Good morning. I'm thinking while we wait for our car to dry, we could do some color experiments for flesh tones. I'm going to take each of these four colors and combine them with titanium white, flake white, and turpentine to see how close we can get to flesh tones. And I've made this little grid with this little 6-inch canvas, and we'll see how it goes. Now I'm going to show you a trick about oil paint. You know, sometimes when you have really old tubes or you haven't used it in a long time, sometimes they'll break open or the cap will break. What I do in that case is just leave it open, but store it in a jar of water. When you pull them out, you have to make sure all the water's off, but at least you could still use it. You don't have to throw away your tube of paint. Always keep a pair of pliers handy at your work table. Now here's another something. Turpentine will take that right off, I'm pretty sure. Anyway, that's been my experience, which is why I spray sealant on my drawings, because the turpentine will lift that right up. See? There are a variety of light-colored flesh tones available already mixed. I usually like to mix them up a little bit more. So-called flesh tone. A color that I found almost by accident that makes a nice flesh tone is burnt sienna. And I'll show you how that works. We'll try some burnt umber. Naples yellow. I would have never thought of this, but I was mixing it up for something else, and I thought, that's a little kind of suitable for a flesh tone, I think. So we'll put it over here with the so-called flesh tone. Okay, and how I'm going to do this is I'm just going to pick them up and put them on the canvas, and then we'll blend with titanium white, flake white, and turpentine, or maybe reverse them, because I made some sketch marks trying to get my grid. Let's see. 1, 2, 3, 4. Do the Naples yellow here on this row. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, yeah. Titanium white here. We'll be a little bit messy with it. Flake white here. And just clear wash here. My hand's right in the way, isn't it? Okay. A little bit too much liquid. Well, it's a little bit yellow for portraiture, but that's in the wash, in the transparent wash. So let's see how it goes with flake white. Well, I think it would make some nice golden highlights. We'll try it with some other colors later. Okay, there's the flake white. And here is the titanium white. Okay. Next we'll go with the flesh tone. Yeah, that would definitely have to be toned down. Even as pale as I am, my skin's not quite that color. It's a bit pink, but it's a good place to start. Okay. We're actually going to start with a little bit of the third, and third medium that I like, and I'll just dampen the canvas with it here. And then we'll go to the turp. Not much talking while this happens. Yeah, it's a lot better thinned way out, but I think I would still blend it with some other colors. And now the flake white. Just kind of scrub it over and move it into the white. Sometimes a little back and forth motion like that helps blend them together. And then sometimes coming across like so. Wiping between, because as you come across, you're going to pick up some of that white, and if you bring it right back over, then you're a little bit over blended. Okay, so there's with flake white. Now we'll go with titanium white. Here. Nice, smooth, creamy whites. Probably because they're, well, at least the one tube is fairly new. You saw that flake white all dried up. or at least the tube is all dried up, but the paint itself is still nice and soft. See what happens if you come all the way across here and don't wipe? You picked up all that white on your brush, and you'll put it right back there. Okay, there's the flesh tone. Next we'll do the burnt sienna. My first painting language is watercolor. I studied with a watercolorist in Oklahoma for years, and one of the things that I learned from him is if you want to call yourself an artist, you should make art every day, even if it's just for 15 minutes. So this will take longer than 15 minutes, but it counts. Maybe we're not making a drawing, but we're practicing some aspect of this creativity. And he taught me a lot about color as it behaves in watercolor. It's quite different in acrylic and oil. Sometimes colors do things you didn't expect of them. So again, we're just coming in here with the transparent medium, the third, and third in this case. You could certainly use some other medium. One evening after a storm, we were out driving around. The sun wasn't down yet, but it was headed that way. And I had my car window open and my arm up on the, there where the window was open. As we're driving along, sun leaning low in the sky after some heavy weather. And I noticed, I just kind of glanced down and noticed that my arm was about the same color as the concrete, which was stained with that Oklahoma red clay that stains everything. And I thought, that red, Oklahoma red dirt is about the color of burnt sienna. And there's my arm, the same color as that concrete stained with Oklahoma red mud. So what that told me was that I should look at burnt sienna as a skin tone. There it is, just thinned out with clear, medium, and turpentine. And now we're going to the flake white. I can see that it's a bit richer in color with the more kind of orangey brown. Another color that I know is good for portraits in watercolor is Indian red. I don't think I have any Indian red oil to experiment with, but we're experimenting with these four right now, so. Interesting, when you thin it with just, the turpentine and the medium, it's a bit warmer in hue. And bringing the white in seems to pinken it up a bit. I can see that another experiment I'll want to do before long will be to combine this with this. Now the titanium white. I'm working in a room today, and it's morning, and it has east windows, and it's a little overcast. The light comes and goes, so sometimes it seems to brighten up in here, and then it seems to darken down a little bit. I chose not to turn the light on because I have the windows providing such nice light today. This is a little bit tedious, but worthwhile, I think. You kind of get a handle on your colors and what they'll do and what you can do with them. So there's burnt sienna and what it does with various whites and transparent blending. Fourth one for the day will be burnt umber, which is a bit cooler of a brown, not, in tone, like cool and warm. Although still plenty warm, but compared to burnt sienna, it's not quite as orangey of a brown. Okay. And again, the first one we'll do will be the clear blend, the medium and turpentine. We're just dampening the canvas with the third medium here. And do this little blending action to take the paint over into the wet area. That's nice for a darker skin tone. Could add some burnt sienna for a golden highlight, or ultramarine blue will take it almost to black. But that's a study for another day. See, that's why you wipe your brush off every time. See, thinned all the way out, it's almost gray. Now we're going with the flake white. You can see there's still a tiny bit of pigment in my brush. I'll use a little bit of the medium to moisten that paint up. And when you whiten this one down, it gets almost a kind of a pinky gray. There we go. Come in with the titanium white. We'll bring them up to meet in the middle and do that blending action. And then this. And it's okay if you have little baubles outside the line. This is just a study for your information. Sometimes I make these up on large canvases, you know, to study how certain colors behave together. But then I got a whole bunch of these nifty little canvases. These are little 6x6 canvases, and I just got them at my local art supply store. They had them packaged up in 3s, and I got them on sale, which is always nice. So there you have it. A study in potential flesh tones. I think this will be nicer as a golden highlight. This is a good place to start. I often use this right here to do the underpainting for human portraiture. Although I like this a lot too. And yeah, here's how they behave with flake white and titanium white. And then, you know, the clear blending medium. So, clear blending, medium, flake white in the middle, and titanium white on the right. So I hope this was helpful. Don't be afraid to make color studies if you're working on something. You want to get the color just right. And thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time.